talk about this amazing journey you have been on.
Yes, it's been a journey, that's for sure.
Growing up in Detroit, you find yourself, at 14 years old, you're on your own at 14.
You know, I started trying to sell drugs at 12. And really, I started drinking around that same time. And I just, kind of fell into the fast life really quickly.
So what were the drugs that you started at this age? Because you're at 18, 19 years old in a strip club, you're drinking heavily. But then what are the drugs outside of weed that you start getting into?
I got into cocaine and ecstasy. Cocaine was like a glass of water. Like, you want a bump, you want a glass of water, same thing.
I came to know you because of your ex-husband, who's been on the show twice, Billy Carson.
We lose ourselves in these relationships because we're not connected to ourselves. We don't really know, and it's just...
Welcome to Vaughn Empowers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential change makers. I'm your host, Brandi, Harvey. Now today, we got a manifesta in the building. Elisabeth Carson is a global speaker, entrepreneur, and founder of Enhanced Flow, where she helps thousands rebuild their lives from the inside out. Her work blends neuroscience, trauma healing, emotional mastery, and biohacking, merging science and spirituality into a powerful blueprint for personal evolution. Born in South Korea and adopted into a white American family, Elisabeth's early life was shaped by abandonment, identity loss, and deep emotional wounds. She went from the high-glamour world of modeling and music videos to hitting rock bottom through addiction, jail time, and self-destruction. But her comeback is unmatched. Through over 100 healing modalities, she reprogrammed her mind, regulated her nervous system, and rose into leadership, scaling a global brand, building transformational frameworks, and now teaching thousands how to manifest sovereignty through science-backed spiritual work. Elisabeth believes when you start falling in love with life, life starts falling in love with you. Vaughn Empowers Talks welcome speaker, entrepreneur, and healer Elisabeth Carson to the show.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Come on.
Oh, thank you.
Listen, amazing. Let's talk about this amazing journey you have been on.
Yes, it's been a journey, that's for sure.
Yeah. From Detroit, I was listening to your video. I said, now Elisabeth might be a little hood now. She got a little hood and she from Detroit.
Yes. I love Detroit City, honestly. It really has helped shape me who I am today. So
Yeah. You were adopted at 3 months old.
Yes.
And you came to America
Mm-hmm.
and you were adopted by a white family.
Yes.
So I can imagine how that must have been growing up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It wasn't really, I only knew what I knew. So I had no contrast. I just knew that I looked different and I didn't fit in anywhere because I was too Asian for white people. I was too white for Asian people. I just didn't fit anywhere. And honestly, growing up, Black people really did accept me the most out of all races.
Well, Black people, we accept all the folks, okay? We got an open door policy in the Black community. Come on in. And I think because we've been so marginalized ourselves. So we understand what it's like to be on the outside of life.
Yes.
And so we welcome people in. And so growing up in Detroit, you find yourself, at 14 years old, you're on your own at 14.
Yeah. I decided to move out of my parents' house. I was just, I started trying to sell drugs at 12, like baggies of sage. I thought I was
saw
selling
sage in a baggie.
Yeah.
And you was trying to sell
weed.
little dime bags.
Trying to sell it. And really, I started drinking around that same time. And I just, kind of fell into the fast life really quickly. And I moved out of my parents' house at 14, in with my high school sweetheart and his drug-addicted father. And there was no oversight there. So I really learned how to sell drugs at that time. There were some guys down the block that, taught me the game. And I started, being the weed person of the school. And since I was going to college parties all the time, I met some guys that were making fake IDs. So I supplied my entire high school with fake IDs. So the hustle was on at that time.
The hustle was on at 14 years old. And then you find your way, like so many lost girls, into the strip club.
Yes. I wanted to make money. I was really smart. I could have went to college, but my brain was not prepped to do that. My brain wanted something exciting, right? Exciting is something to bring that energy. So I fell into stripping at 18, and that's when the drugs got really bad for me. I started taking a lot of them because I had to numb out what I was doing to be able to function and do it, you know? So it was a really toxic time for me.
So what were the drugs that you started at this age? Because you're at 18, 19 years old in a strip club, you're drinking heavily, but then what are the drugs outside of weed that you start getting into?
So I started taking Adderall in high school because it helped. I like the up feeling, right? And that's a brain thing. But I mean, when I was stripping, it was cocaine. That was the up feeling. So I got into cocaine and ecstasy. And then alcohol it was really those three. I just, kind of really fell into that life. And then it was, a Xanax here and there to be able to go to sleep and, moving out to Hollywood to try to follow my dreams. Being in Hollywood back when I was there, I was going to all the red carpet parties, all the hottest places. And out there, it was like cocaine was like a glass of water. Like, you want a bump? You want a glass of water? Same thing. So it was so there. And so I really got into a bad, probably cocaine habit when I was in Hollywood.
Yeah, because you get discovered in the clubs, and that's, starts your music, because you are now an actress. You the video vixen.
Yeah.
In a lot of videos in the early 2000s.
Yes, yes. I was walking out of a club in Detroit, and some guy was like, "Hey," he's like, "You're pretty." He's like, "You should be a model." And he asked me to be a presenter at the 2006 Detroit Hip Hop Awards.
Yeah.
So that's how I fell into modeling. And from there, it just kind of built. And, I moved to to LA with $300 in a dream. And really, I accomplished all my goals. I wanted to be on the big screen. I wanted to be on covers of magazines and be in TV shows and videos. And I accomplished those goals. So on the outside looking in, it was like I had this magnificent, awesome life, and I was living the dream of so many people. But on the inside, I was broken. I mean, I was distracting myself with parties and drugs and alcohol and busyness. So, yeah.
In the chaos. I mean, but then, I told you before you started, I said you was a dancer, baby, you was a scammer. You done all the things.
Yeah.
I thought you might be from Atlanta.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I really started trying to hustle in the streets at 12. And when I learned how to do it at 14, and then I still was doing it throughout my high school career, I mean, it just was a part of me, I guess, at the time. And when I moved to LA, I met these real scammers, and they showed me the real scam. And I was like, oh, you can make some real money doing this. And so I was also doing some fraud, credit card fraud, to be honest. And it got really crazy. It was a whole movie. We were traveling and scamming, and that went on for a little while. And I moved back to Michigan and continued the scam, and I was making so much money. I'm talking like $6,000 to $8,000 a day. And then I was with my ex, and I was like, look, I remember a conversation that we had. I was like, look, we were going to move to Atlanta. I was like, we just need to hustle.
It would have been perfect, Elisabeth. You would have fit right in.
Look, I was going to stop scamming, though. I was like, this is too good. I was like, I'm making too much money right now, and I know I'm about to get caught. One more week, we'll stack up the money, and we'll move to Atlanta. That was the plan. And then right before the plan ended is when we got caught.
That's like the ending of every bad movie.
Yes,
we
I
just
know,
need one more week.
I swear to God.
Listen, Kane was just trying to get to Atlanta, and here he is, shot in the front yard.
Yes. But you know what? Now that I look back on that, I understand it was the energy, it's the frequency. It's all about frequency and vibration. And I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
I knew it. And I manifested what was coming. If it was just, all meant to be, it kind of shaped, and I was feeling that. So I kind of, put myself there to get caught, which I'm so glad now that I did.
I want you to talk about the moment you get caught, because you're in the store.
Yeah.
And you chumming it up with the girl at the register.
Yes.
You thinking she your friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She like, oh, you cute.
Yes.
Hey, girl.
Yes. My son's dad was like tapping me. He's like, yo, we gotta go. He's like, what? This is shady. I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. It's all good. I'm so used to doing this and getting away with it. So it's all good. And so finally, he pulls me, and he's like, no, we gotta go. And we walk out the store, and it was like a movie. I swear to God. I walk out, and you hear all these sirens, all these cop cars, and then they're all in their cars, and they open their doors, and they rush at us. And one guy, as he's rushing at me, he's like, you need to learn to hang out with different type of people. And then he hems my son's dad up on on the wall. And I was like, well, little does he know this is my thing, not even, you know,
this your scam.
his.
You the mastermind behind this.
Look, I was like, and so as soon as they found all the credit cards with my name on it in my car, they knew, and they stuck us in the back of the cop car, and that was it, man. That was it.
So you went to jail for how long?
I was in there for about 6 months, and I was fighting my case. Look, I was telling my son's dad now at the time, I was like, this is okay. It was a Friday. I'm like, we're just going to spend the weekend here. We'll be good. Monday, we'll get out because we'll get arraigned, and then we'll just bond out. I'm like, it's all good. We're just going to be here a couple days. And so he's looking at me like, yeah, it's going to be all right. Monday comes around, no arraignment. Tuesday comes around, no arraignment. Wednesday comes around, finally we get arraigned. And by this time, I was in max, so that's basically you're by yourself. And I've never, so I was going crazy, like walking in circles all day. I don't even know what happened to me in there. But get to the courtroom, and I'm standing there, and the judge says our bond was $250,000 cash only. Not like 10%, not cash surety, no, cash only. And I about fell over. I was like, we're not getting out.
Yeah.
Like, we're not getting out. And I looked at him, he looked at me, we like got pale. I was like, it's over. It is over. And it was definitely over.
And so you did 6 months in jail, and your son's father did how long?
He did a little bit longer than me because I got out when it got bonded over, and the judge put 10% cash surety on the amount. And so my mother, thank God for my mother, she's been my rock, put up her house for me. And so I was able to get out. And then it took him a couple months later to get out because he did get a bondsman and stuff. And
this is your adopted mom. This is your mom.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. She's always been the rock in my life. She's never abandoned me, not once.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you never had a tumultuous relationship with your adopted family?
It was interesting. It was like my brother was sick when I was growing up, and my parents did the best that they could with what they knew how. But little did they know, when my brother was sick, they were sending me to the church family homes, and I was going to these stranger homes. And that was just really scratching on my core wound of abandonment from being adopted. And so that was like sealing in these pathways, these neural pathways of abandonment and just fear. And so that's, a big reason why I rebelled so much, because I felt like they abandoned me all the time going through that.
I mean, let's talk about these neural pathways of abandonment, because you said in your healing journey, you've done over 100 modalities to shift your life out of addiction and out of these trauma responses that you've been so used to. What are those modalities that you've used?
I mean, some of the top ones I would say is neuro-feedback, brain training. I would say red light therapy, hyperbaric oxygen chamber, EFT, emotional freedom technique, EMDR, binaural beats, I would say magnetic therapy, bioresonance, photobiomodulation. I have these
Child, you saying some stuff. I know some folks in our audience is like, rewind the tape, Elisabeth. Where do I start? Listen.
I experienced neurofeedback when I was 19. So I was on this huge drug binge, dancing at the time. I think I did so much ecstasy. It was like 3 months later, came out of it. I looked in the mirror. This is what brought me out of it. I looked in the mirror. I was like, I couldn't recognize myself. I was so skinny. I was probably about 80 pounds. And my head was all dry. I was like, this is not good.
This is after a 3-month drug binge on ecstasy.
On ecstasy. This was during the club days. Yeah. So all we would do was drugs and dance, make money more. Drugs, dance, make money more. So it was about a 3-month period of that. What I was really doing, I probably only have 2 days out the week where I wasn't taking drugs. And so I just fell into this stupor of being high all the time. And coming out of that, I couldn't even finish sentences. My brain was so inflamed. I was so out of it. I felt like I was walking around in a dream, disconnected from myself. And I was over at my best friend's house, rest in peace, by the way. And his next door neighbor came to me. He was like, hey, I have this thing that can help your brain. And da-da-da. I was like, you can help my brain, sign me up. I'm like, right now, let's go. That night, he took me, and I experienced for the first time in my life, 19 years old, neurofeedback. And that's basically where they're putting, they put electrodes on your head, and the machine is reading the brain waves. And then it is using sound, light, or vibration in some cases to activate different parts of your brain putting a mirror up to your brain to show you where things are disconnected and how your brain can function more properly. So if you think about it, if you're unaware of something within you, if you have a pain and you're unaware that's even there, how can you fix it?
Yeah.
So neurofeedback is like putting a mirror up to your brain and showing you, hey, you're not working right here, 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 here. And so your brain is really repatterning in specific ways for you to optimize. So after I did 5 days of brain training, I completely changed my life. My brain came back. I moved back in with my mother. I signed up for college. I was exercising. I mean, it didn't last long, but I went back to the environment. But that hit of contrast, I knew was there.
Yeah.
So when I got out of jail, and really it was not when I got out of jail, but when I got pregnant, I realized that I needed to change my life. Like I couldn't keep going down this path. I had a whole human to take care of, and I knew that there were things out there that could help me. So I went deep into research of what I could do.
I mean, I came to know you because of your ex-husband, who's been on the show twice, Billy Carson, and the work that you all have done together.
Yeah.
And you all built this brand of forbidden knowledge. And what people don't understand about your role is that you helped take this brand from 3 million followers to 11 million. I want you to talk about what your role was in building the Forbidden Knowledge brand.
Yeah, so Billy already had a name. He already had Forbidden Knowledge for quite a while before I jumped on board. And I remember our first meeting together, I was like, we sat down and I'm like, all right, what's your 1, 5, 10-year goal? We wrote all those goals down. And because I'm very organized, a woman's brain, we're very detail-oriented. We know how to shift things in the background to make the visionary's dream come true. We know all the pieces that are missing. So as soon as we went through that meeting and I could see what was missing, I'm like, okay, this, okay. And so I started to build these systems around what he was trying to accomplish. And we accomplished all the goals except for one in that 4 years that I was with Forbidden Knowledge, 4.5 years, I think. And basically, I mean, there wasn't really a YouTube page, so I came up with all these ideas to do a podcast network and to grow the YouTube page, which ended up growing the following significantly.
Yeah.
All the events, I mean, I've always done events in my life. When I was a chef, I was a pastry chef for a while. I would do these charity events because I've had a toxic side of me, but my heart has always been wanting to help people, always. And I'm like, I'm killing people with sugar. So how can I balance this out to make it okay? So I would do charity events around food. So I knew how to build awesome events. And so I was like, we need to do events. I mean, there was a movie theater tour that was booked out, every single location. I mean, there was the award shows that we did 2 years in a row, massive. I mean, over 1,000 people from all over the world came to those. And so, I mean, I would say that my part, it was just helping to build the systems. All the details that were missing, I just kind of clicked them together. I built the roadmap for the tours, and there was no tours before me. I mean, he had tried, but no successful tours before I came there. So, I mean, it was just, I helped build the systems. Because it was just him. I think him and his son Justin that was there working. And I was like, you need more people. If you want to scale this thing, you can't scale this thing with 2 people. It's impossible. So I kind of built the branches of, how to kind of manipulate things to be able to expand and scale to where it is.
What did you learn about boundaries and power during this time of building this business with your husband?
I learned I didn't really have any. like women, right? We are born we already have this ancestral genetic stuff that we're already inscribed in our physical bodies of nurturing, taking care of. We are not allowed to be mad. If we're mad, angry, or we're crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's the stigma. So, I mean, we're taught at a young age. Think about it. We get given baby dolls and we're feeding the babies and we're nurturing the babies as babies. So this is instilled in us all our lives. And so when a woman that doesn't have boundaries and doesn't really know and is super, super just like connected with herself, she gets into a relationship and she almost loses all the boundaries and becomes what is needed in that family situation because we are the nurturers. We are the take care ofs, right? And so I didn't really have boundaries. I thought that I was doing what I wanted to do, which in part I was. Like, I loved my years helping to build that. I thought it was fantastic. And, we helped tons of people. So it was very fulfilling, but it wasn't me. It wasn't only me, and I was not exuding my essence, my creativity. It was really being exuded for his dream and what he wanted to build. So I didn't have them. And when things fell apart, I realized that this has been my toxic pattern in my life. And then I started looking into so many other people. And I'm like, this happens to so many women because we lose ourselves in these relationships because we're not connected to ourselves. We don't really know. And it's just in our field of energy to say, hey, what can I do? And it's, we're the mothers. We bring the kids to school. We get the husband ready. We get the breakfast. And then we go to work now.
Yeah.
Then we come home. We got to, get the dinner ready, get the kids, do the homework, do the laundry. All of these things are put on our shoulders. And then we start to realize, not even realize, but run this story in our head that if we stop doing this, everything's going to fall apart. It's all, and then it's going to be our fault. And then we start getting resentful because we're taking on all this stuff, looking at everybody like they're not grateful for me because I'm doing this. How come they're not showing? So we build all of this resentment up in our bodies because we are telling ourselves a story that if we were to take a step back, that everything would fall apart. And that's really a false narrative. And think about it. 80% of autoimmune diseases, women have that.
Yeah.
And then another thing is 70% of those 80% are minority women, because of already stressors from not fitting in. So we really have to take a step back and look at ourselves and realize, what are we doing? This makes me fired up because I just see it so much. I just posted about this morning, and there was a comment. Some people don't have the luxury to take a step back. Some people don't have that luxury to take a vacation. I didn't say, honey, to take a vacation. I said, take 5 minutes, take a beat.
Yeah.
Take a moment for yourself. Realize, am I killing myself for this? Because the minute that you are not healthy and whole, guess what? You can't help anyone anyways.
Yeah.
If you end up in the hospital and you're sick, who are you going to help?
Yeah.
So it's like we need to learn to take that beat after everything. I mean, we don't even sit down and have a conscious meal anymore. Like, we are scrolling, we're working.
Everything's on the go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not built like that. Women especially. We are not built to be these machines. It's not in our nature to be that. And so I really want to wake a lot of women up in this narrative, like, no. And it's not about taking all this time. Trust me, I'm very busy too. I'm raising a 13-year-old by myself. So it's like everybody's busy, but are you too busy for you? Where is your priorities at?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just let the sport go. If it's killing you and you can't show up to your fullest, then you're not doing good for anybody anyways. It's like the energy that we hold, if we're walking around resentful and angry because we have to do all these things, then take some of it off your plate, because your kids will feel you more than what they see you.
Yeah.
Which my child could feel my stress more than what I was putting on, portraying as this, powerful woman that could do everything. I mean, that's not real.
Yeah.
That's not authentic. And you're actually teaching your kids toxicity of just go, hustle, 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 and this is what you got to do to survive. That's not real. We need to learn to take a beat before all of our decisions and come back into our bodies and say, hey, do I want to do this in this moment? It's been one of the hardest things for me after all this to take a step back. And I had a migraine one day, and I remember I went and laid in my bed in the middle of the day, and I felt like a freaking failure.
Yeah. You
And I
feel
was
guilty.
like, yes.
Yeah, you feel guilty when you take a minute to yourself.
Yes. I was like a waste of space. And I had to remind myself, put my hand on my heart and remind myself that it is okay to take a beat. It's okay to take this break from myself. The world is not going to come crashing down because I went and laid down because I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Because I took a moment. And what I've really learned is that the more you sink into yourself, the more you give yourself those beats, you start to realize that you don't have to hustle. You don't have to work your tail off to succeed. You can work from here and succeed in life. Look at all the stuff that happened at the last, my last situation. A lot was accomplished, but when I got there, was I really happy? No, because I was working from my head, not my heart. And when you work from your heart space, especially as a woman, it's like the world will start opening up for you and things will start falling into your path as they're supposed to when you're aligned with your true self and connected. You don't have to work that hard. You don't have to. It's like my whole life has been about hustling, and working and just, work until I can't work anymore. And that's what drives us into the ground. People, men too. I mean, it drives us into the ground. We really need to understand that the reason and the way is connection and visualization and feeling. And then if we allow universe source God to give you what is meant for you, if we allow that to come in, then it will happen. It will happen.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Was it resentment that ended your marriage?
I would say that's like a tough topic. I would say for me, I definitely, at the last year, I was burnt out. I was not waking up a happy woman. I was like with an attitude, walking around. I had a bad attitude. And then after, I'm sure everybody saw the whole big, the debate and how everybody was attacking. I mean, I was literally taking in negative comments, deleting them because I was seeing how it was affecting him. And I was like, let me just, all day for months, I was deleting comments. I'm talking 8, 9, 10 hours a day. That's all I was doing, deleting comments. So I was taking in all of that negativity, and it was too much for me. And also trying to run a business, also trying to be a mom, also trying to be a wife. I mean, it was so overwhelming for me, and I was not happy. I was definitely not happy. I was burnt out. Physically, I was burnt out. I mean, when you physically get burnt out, your hormones go crazy because your body is in such a stressed state. So when your hormones, it's like a cascade effect. So first it starts in the mind. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I can't. And then it goes into your body, and now your body is telling you, yes, you're tired, you're stressed, everything sucks. So it's a cascade, like toxic pattern and frequency of burnout to keep telling yourself the same thing. And so it was like I was stuck in a place where I was exhausted, I was tired, and I was just not in a good place mentally at all.
Was this the start of your dark night of the soul? You said at one point you believed you were God and you didn't even pray. And now you have shifted that, and now your life is rooted in prayer.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. It's the craziest story. I was somewhere else, and I was having to have a really hard conversation, and I didn't know how to show up for this conversation. I was freaking out. So I called a shaman that I had worked with some plant medicine before, and that shaman told me, she's like, this is going to trigger you. I'm like, what's going to trigger me? She was like, well, I found Jesus Christ, and I'm Christian now, and I read the Bible every day. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not judging anybody for their belief system whatsoever. I never have. I grew up Presbyterian Christian, so I don't judge. But my belief at that time was that I was not God himself, but I was God, and I didn't need anything outside of me to have the perfect life and to show up 100%, right? So that hit me. And then she prayed for me, and it felt good. And then I was driving over to have this conversation, and my girl calls me, and I'm telling her, because she did the plant medicine with me. I'm like, yo, the shaman found Jesus. And my girl's like, I've been scared to tell you, but I've been reading the Bible and going to church lately. And I'm telling you, this is real. I'm not God. So she was like, and my husband, 5 minutes before you just called me, said if she ever found God, she would be something else. And then I called 5 minutes later. So she prays for me. Crazy. I pull up. I'm in my car. My manager calls me, and he's like, a Christian, and he's like, I've just had the feeling I need to pray for you right now. 3 times. And he prays for me.
In one day?
In one day. I'm talking within a span of maybe an hour and a half. And everything. So I go in to have this hard conversation, and for the first time in my life, my body didn't feel like it was going to explode as I'm having this conversation. And as I was sitting there, I'm like, all right, Jesus, God, I don't know, if this is real, show me. And I sat there calm the whole time. But what I realized during that conversation is, as I was asking God or whoever, whatever, the energy, God, to help me, I was feeling guilty, because I'm like, I'm not powerful enough to calm myself down. I need to ask something outside of me to calm me down. And so it messed me up spiritually for a while. And so that's when I started really getting deeper into this. And then I had realized that for the past 4.5 years, I wasn't praying. And I always have prayed my life, always. And so I started to, I started to read the Bible. I started to read Course in Miracles. I started to read all of these spiritual books. And I'm like, this feels good. And then it feels calm. For the first time in my life, I'm like, my body, it feels calm. Like I can handle all this for the first time. Without God and my connection to God right now, I would not have been able to handle what I've been through in this past year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, let me say this. It's something about the name Jesus. Let me just go ahead and say it. It's something about the name Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, and you did not even have that as
Mm-mm.
that base of your life at that point,
No.
and you start to call on the name of Jesus, and then your life starts to shift.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm Christian or I believe in any certain one religion. Honestly, this might trigger people. My firm belief is that all religions are saying almost the same thing in a
For
different
sure.
way. And it's like, why are we fighting each other over our different belief systems when that's what makes the world dynamic and interesting, number one. Number two, it's like, we're all saying the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Period. You know, I'm probably more spiritual. I have a very, very tight connection with God. And yes, there is power in the name Jesus. And I never, there is, because that day, it was like something was there calming my body down.
And nothing else had helped before.
Not like it did that day. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt calm to the point of peace calm while I'm like going through this extremely crazy thing.
Well, you know the Bible says a peace that passes all understanding.
That's exactly what happened to me. So I was like, I need to look into this. This is not, and you know what? I felt bad. I actually did a show on this because I felt bad. I led people to believe that we are God. And yes, I believe God is within us.
For sure,
So we have the
absolutely.
creativity, the power to create whatever it is that we want to, but we need to have that connection to be able to do so. And I believe that if you're in a relationship, if you're in a friendship, if you're a being just walking on this planet and you are not rooted in God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, then you're on a shaky ground. You're on a shaky foundation and things will crumble every single time.
Now, Elisabeth, I was not expecting this to be the shift of this conversation. Listen, I was not expecting it, y'all. I mean, because I will say this, is people who have followed you, follow Forbidden Knowledge, follow your ex-husband, they have questioned whether or not you have believed, whether or not you've had any spiritual belief. And for you to say that there was a very dark period in your life where that was not the case, for you to have this reckoning of your life and your soul, that is extremely powerful for everybody listening.
Yeah. I had to talk about it because I was so confused that day. I wasn't feeling bad. I was confused. I'm like, why do I feel guilt right now for asking for help and for that connection back to fill me up and to help me through this? Why am I guilty? And guilt is one of the lowest frequency vibrations that you can walk around in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I got to understand this. So I just wanted to come out to everybody and tell people, like, I believe now you have to have that connection. Everything has to have that connection. And if you are not connected to that, you're lost in this life.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about the spiritual journey, and now with you building a new platform and having this new unfolding in your life, how are you able to manifest when things become so unstable in your life?
God.
Yeah.
No, really though. I would really, that's number one. My connection with God, my connection with myself. You know, it's crazy when you go from a certain way of life and then all of a sudden within an hour it's not that way anymore and everything's gone. Everything that you thought
In an
was
instant.
like literally like
In an
that.
instant. Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, what? And I'm not saying like, I mean, everybody that was on our employees, staff, Detroit, they're from Detroit. But I had no more employees. I had no more friends. I had nothing. Everything was, boom, gone. And I was like, okay. I was okay because I was rooted in something bigger than me. So that bigger than me assured me that I was okay and I was always going to be okay. And getting out of that, I have a 13-year-old now. It's like I just wanted to normalize his life. So I just focused on that, deeply on that for the next couple months to try to normalize things for him. And I was definitely in fight or flight. I mean, I lost 15 pounds. I was incredibly stressed out. But what I didn't do was abandon myself.
Yeah.
I mean, and what I've learned throughout my time of studying all these modalities and the brain is that you can get into a negative thought pattern, right? And it is okay. You should go there. You should feel your feelings and you should process what you need to process to feel all the emotion, or else it'll get stuck in your body. But don't stay there. The minute that you stay there, I learned this from my spiritual advisor, Chelsea. Emotion only lives in your body 90 seconds.
Yeah.
After 90 seconds, it's the story you tell yourself that makes the emotion stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would let myself feel all of these feelings of despair and betrayal and grief and confusion, but I would break that pattern so freaking quick.
Yeah.
And I would run outside,
Yeah.
connect my hands and feet to the earth's surface and let the sun bathe me and just let it all go. And realize, no, everything happens for a divine purpose and reason. All of this had to happen for a divine purpose and reason, and be grateful that it did, because it's all happening for you and your highest good, because I'm connected. So I know that things now are happening for my highest good, even if it breaks my heart, because I know my path now. It's like a shiny freaking rainbow road that's like literally just there for me. It's a whole different feeling than I've ever had. But I didn't let my neural connections wire those patterns of negativity and thinking badly and becoming a victim and blaming everybody else. No, I didn't let those patterns wire in. I shifted myself to gratitude, thankfulness, and thank you for being a teacher on my path. Thank you for helping me to get to my next level in life.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I am loving this conversation with you, because right now you're pursuing your brain health certification through the Amen University.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to talk about these discoveries that you've made about brain health and neuroscience.
Yeah, well, one of the most interesting things for me is that a woman's brain is completely different than a man's brain. So a woman uses more of her brain than a man does.
Well, we knew that. Amen.
No, like literally.
Didn't we know that? Didn't we know that? Lord, we are the smarter species. But go ahead, Elizabeth. You didn't say that, I did.
Well, our corpus callosum, which is the connector of nerves between the both hemispheres, is 25% bigger than a man's. So our brain wiring is always shifting and going back and forth, where a man's brain is kind of working back to front. And they work a lot of in their cerebellum and a lot of in their planning mode. So they're like visionaries. They're very one thing. Ever try to have a man multitask?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I can do like 5,000 things at once, though, because our brains are wired like that. So it's really, for me, what was so interesting is that things are a hardware problem. It's not us, right? So I got my brain scanned, and I found out I got hit in the head with a pistol when I was in Detroit, actually. I got, just like you said, you got carjacked, I got carjacked.
You was pistol whipped.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I have damage there, and my SPECT scan showed it. And Dr. Amen sits down in front of me. He's like, so you're very impulsive, aren't you? I was like, how do you know me? And it's because that's the impulsive area of it controls impulse. And it was damaged. So I started really digging into this stuff. And then I got a brain map done, which maps the waves of your brain, right? You go high gamma, high beta, theta, alpha, delta, right? As all the brain waves. And I realized that through that brain map that I was very high beta. And I was like, my delta was all messed up. My high beta was messed up. And so the neuroscientist sat with me and he was like, so you're very empathetic. Like, you take on everything external and all people's emotions and you take it on like it's yours. It almost destroys you. I'm like, how did you know that? Because my high beta is way overactive. And when you're high beta, you are a huge empath. You can feel everything from everybody. And I realized that people are not just empathetic. That is a hardware issue. That is an issue that you can learn to tailor and train yourself to get out of. So through all of the modalities and that retreat, basically, we did brain training and neuro-feedback. And I realized that the 6 months later, I don't feel everybody else anymore. I do still. I take note of it, but I don't take it on like it's mine. Because I got remapped recently, and that high beta is gone. And it's just now delta, and your delta waves kind of connect you inside of your body. So if you're very disconnected from your body, you could have a delta wave issue, right?
Is that what you experienced? Because you said in one of your talks that you've given that up until 30 years old, you didn't feel emotions.
No.
And that was this delta wave that was probably inhibited?
That was probably a piece of it. But what happens with a lot of people that experience a lot of trauma, and especially a lot of body, physical, violating trauma, is that your body and your brain wires you to basically protect itself. So there's something called the polyvagal theory by Dr. Stephen Porges, a genius doctor. And he talks about the states of your vagus nerve. And when you're ventral vagal, that's when you're open and connected. But when you're dorsal vagal, that's when you're shut down, you're in freeze state. And that's literally your hormones, everything, your vagus nerve inside of your body that's disconnecting you from yourself. So I walked around in freeze for all of those years, not feeling emotions. That's when people go through something super traumatic and they can't even cry because their nervous system, their vagus nerve is so stuck in that position, in freaking sympathetic or dorsal, that they are so disconnected from themselves. So you have to, that's why I always say, like, trauma and shadow work, it's a body brain thing. You have to work on the hardware, the suit, to be able to feel and connect like you're supposed to. That's why I teach so much shadow work, because it is almost impossible for some people to walk around feeling connected. I mean, there was a woman that went to one of my events, bless her heart, her son had committed suicide. And she told me, I can't even cry. She's like, I tried to, I can't even cry. I'm like, you're in deep freeze. So you have to learn how to get your body out of these physical states so you're able to emotionally and energetically connect to yourself again.
What are you seeing when you work with so many women, especially women of color? And what do you think is one of the biggest inhibitors of us being able to live fully free lives?
Well, I think that honestly, it's years and years and years and years of trauma that's already built into the bodies once we incarnate here. So you already come in traumatized. I mean, and then you have society that shuts you down. I mean, especially black women, women, more even so, I believe, in my personal opinion, don't kill me, but more than black men, because it's like, you know, you're supposed to be this way, and you're like, and then everyone's looking at you and you don't have the opportunities. And if you look at the freaking stuff in hospitals and how births, women, black women are the, you know, most raised to die at birth. It's like so much disparity. And so it's like, it's that. And so for a black woman or a person of color, it is that much harder to get out of these states of automatic stress to be able to get into creation mode, because you were already given it at birth. You were already, it's planted in you through society. And what I want people to realize is, like, it's a victim mentality, and it's not the fault of the person that it's a victim mentality. It's society that, like, that's the energy that you get all your life. So once you can break that, though, and realize, no, I am the creator of my reality, and everything external is not coming for me. It's my job to break this. It's the job to break this pattern. And so when you can step into your power, instead of blaming your situation and for all of the things that you didn't get, and maybe you got sick and you didn't get the help you needed, all of these things that are horrible and terrible that happen for you in my eyes now, when you can step into that mindset of everything is happening for you and it's a lesson and it's all divine and it's to make you stronger, and God put you here in this suit because he knew that you could handle it. And so it's the job of the person to break that pattern of victim mentality and step into their power of creation and realize, no, this is not, I'm not a victim of my reality. I'm the creator of my reality. And even if I have all of these harder things I got to do and I got to jump over all of these other hoops, I'm grateful for it, because guess what that's teaching me? Strength, resilience, you know, more awareness than what other people can see. I love challenges. I love triggers, because they're only showing me what I can change about myself to see more, to become more aware, to become more connected. So I would just advise so many people. I mean, racism sucks, you know, politics sucks, like big pharma sucks, but we are not victims of that. We're not. We just need to shift our mindset, because the minute you start shifting your mindset out of the victim mentality, your body and your brain rewires itself to be able to see opportunity. Because if you think life is so hard and be this, you know, if you think all that negativity, your reticular activating system, which is a bundle of nerves that your brainstem, will start to filter in obstacles everywhere, because you're a victim. Life is so hard. So now your brain is searching around for all of the things that are hard, because there's like 11 million bits of information that come at us every second. And our brain filters it down to about 50, and that 50 depends on what we believe in. What we believe in ourselves, what we believe in reality, how we see ourselves. So if you can shift your mindset, you start rewiring through neuroplasticity your brain to start creating more opportunities for you instead of all of these humps, instead of all of these obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I was literally just listening to Abraham Hicks this morning as I was getting ready, and she posed a question to the audience, and she was like, do you believe that everything that you want is right here? Do you believe that the universe wants to give you everything that you desire in your life? Do you believe? And then she says, but do you believe it? And so many of us really don't believe it, right? And so I want you to talk to that 14-year-old girl who left home, who began a life of drugs and alcohol and living a life out on the streets and feeling all the abandonment. What would you say to your 14-year-old self?
Just that life is going to get good. All of these things. You know what? I don't regret really anything in my life because it's all shaped me into the aware person that I am now. And I would not be as aware now. I wouldn't be as strong, resilient, and freaking just awake now if I didn't go through all that. And I really do believe that we set ourselves up for these hardships before we even come here. And it's like, these are for our souls to grow, to get better, to get more, connected, and just to see. I really feel like this is Earth school. So
I say this all the time, Elisabeth. I'm in Earth school. I wake up every day to sit in the front of the class of Earth school to get every lesson I'm supposed to get, to have all these people teach me something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would just tell her it's going to be okay. Go through it. Go through it all. I wouldn't change a thing about my life because if I did, I wouldn't be who I am. And I'm honestly very proud of the person I am now. And I'm so proud that I went through all of those things because I was in so many times in my life, the no hope place, where I was like, I don't have anything. I'm just a piece of crap, knowing I'm nothing. And so being able to jump into this new reality that I'm in now, doing what I love to do. Yeah. And I'm literally speaking all over the world. Like, what? Did I think that when I was 14? No. So it's like to be able to share my life of all of the things that, I shouldn't have done, but I did them. I can't take it back. It's just reality. It's like just really what happened. So it's like I can't change it. But to share that with people and to show people, I've sat in jail literally on the ground in the cement with no freaking thing but a little tiny little thing I could lay on. Like, I've sat there, but I've also sat in the Capitol with the governor. I've also spoken on stages in Bali. I'm going to Dubai in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these things. Yes, I went through that. But I'm also changing to be able to do this. So anything is possible. Like, there is no hope. There's always hope. And so that's what I hope to inspire young people and people who are going through things, even people who are, mid-age and older going through things. You can always change. Yeah. It just takes, boom, that decision. And the decision is really you. It's looking and taking that freaking beat and asking yourself, what do I want in this moment? Because the minute that you start doing that, you rewire your body, you rewire your brain, you get back connected to God's source universe, and then something bigger opens up for you. That's when really the magic happens. But you can't be the victim of your reality. And if you have no hope, then the world is going to just reflect that right back to you. Yeah. So there's always hope, and I'm proof of it. Yeah. I'm proof of that change. Boom, change your life. Boom, change your life. I mean, I didn't expect what happened to me recently to happen in a million years. I mean,
the divorce.
Yeah. Like, I'm the person, I mean, I've been asked a couple times before. So when I said yes, it was like, this is till I die, And so it's just like, I didn't expect that. And I could have been a victim to that and blaming and just stuck in that. But instead, I'm like, no, thank you for being a teacher on my path. And now I see exactly why things happen the way they happen. So I could finally step into my own light because I'm not hiding behind anybody anymore. I'm my own brand, my own message, my own gut feeling that I'm sharing with the world. It's not anybody else's anymore, and it never will be. That's the lesson. I stopped hiding my lights behind somebody else. And so many of us do that. And it's like, that's not what we're here for. Yeah. We're here to spread our creativity, our divine nature, our divine essence on the planet. That's the gift. That's not the being a kingmaker and all this. That's not the gift. The gift is you and your creativity and your essence and your energy authentically connected. That's what the gift is. That's what the earth needs.
Yeah, that's what the earth needs.
Mm-hmm.
As we close out, I have so enjoyed you.
Thank
I
you.
didn't know I was going to enjoy you this much, Elisabeth.
Thank you.
Listen, you have set the day off.
Thank you.
As we close out, one word you are committed to in this season of your life.
Authenticity. I got to get two. And integrity.
Yeah. Authenticity and integrity.
And integrity.
Why?
Mm-hmm. Because when you're authentically who you are from your core and you're stand in the energy of integrity and you just literally act of your higher self in every single way possible, then you're always moving towards the light. You're always moving towards your higher path, and that will never let you down, even if other people do. That will never let you down, ever. And to be standing in that, it just feels good. You don't have the other feelings of, like fear.
Yeah.
And fear is low vibration. You're not looking behind your back. You know that you showed up authentically 100% who you are in every single moment. And if somebody doesn't like it, oh, wow, like they're not for you. The world has 8 billion people in it. So it is okay. Like, that's truth. That's not hiding, you know? That's real.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
Elisabeth Carson, you are so powerful in this
so
4'11" little body.
I know,
This little
4'11".
petite body holding all this power. I am so excited. It was such an
so
honor for you to come
much.
sit down. You are you radiate it.
Thank you so
And
much.
so I am so excited for every door that is about to open for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
in this
appreciate
season of your
that.
life. Vaught Empowers Talks, another good one for the books. Be sure to share this with somebody who needs to radiate higher, who needs to go and turn a new corner, needs a little more hope in their life. Until next time, I'm your girl, Brandi Harvey. Eat well, give a damn, move your body every single day. Peace.